Hey guys, welcome to another edition of Corey's Take. This morning I'd like to give you a rundown or a long-term review on my 2012 Jeep Wrangler. And as always, if you like my videos, give me a thumbs up and hit subscribe and you'll get to see more. So let's get started with this Jeep review. I've been driving this Jeep for 4 years now, 4 years this month. I bought it was a year old when I bought it. It's a 2012. And I have put 75,000 miles on it myself. I bought it with 25,000 miles. So right now it's got just a click under 100,000 miles on it. Well, let's talk about it, man. Let's talk about it. It's a Jeep. I love Jeeps. I always have loved Jeeps. When I was growing up, my dad had two Jeeps. He had a CJ and he had the square headlight Jeep. Now he always had those as a second vehicle. He had another vehicle he would daily drive. And from driving this one for 4 years, I can see why he did that. It's not a bad driving vehicle. Well, let me take that back. It is a bad driving vehicle. It wobbles all over the road, and I don't have any suspension modifications done to it. It sits at its factory height. I do have some Nitto Terra Grappler MTs on it, some 33s. So I got mud tires on it, but they're not huge. But it still drives bad. It wobbles all over the road. The steering wheel shakes. You can hear it. It's loud. And it's not just tire noise loud. It's wind noise loud. But that comes with the territory of driving a Jeep, and I knew that all along. Now, it being a two-door, it's got a usable back seat if you can get in and out of it. Getting in and out of the back seat of a two-door Jeep Wrangler is not any fun for anybody. It's not any fun for the guy driving because the seats make absolutely no sense. Once you move the seat up to get in, you have to readjust the whole thing. That wasn't very well thought out. So every time somebody gets out the back seat of your Jeep, you're gonna find yourself with the seat all pushed up, and you gotta work to get it back in its original space. So that's kind of a silly design on Jeep's part. But so the back seat will hold two adults. It will. Like I said, it's just fun to watch people get in and out of it. Let's talk about storage space. In a two-door Jeep Wrangler, there is no storage space. There's a little bitty section behind the back seat that really you got a rough time putting a little Playmate lunchbox in there. It's tiny. I got a set of jumper cables and the control for my winch, and that's about all I can fit behind the back seat of my Jeep. You can try and pile stuff back there behind the seat, and I can put some grocery bags and whatnot back there, and it'll work. You just got to worry about them falling out when you open the tailgate. You got to try and get it under the window there, because on a soft top, it's a pain to unzip the back window to lift up to actually put things in and out. Now, if I take the back seat out of my Jeep, it's got a sufficient amount of storage space. But then it becomes a two-seat vehicle. So all in all, practicality is really, really not very high in a two-door Jeep. So beyond that, I enjoy driving it. I do. It's fun. I enjoy it on the weekends, on a beautiful weekend when I take the top down, pull the doors off. There's nothing quite like driving a Jeep around. It's really nice. And in fact, there's times I'd rather be in my topless Jeep than be on my motorcycle, really. But that's it. It's just not very practical on a day-to-day use. So let's talk about reliability on my Jeep. The reliability on this Jeep in particular has been, I think it would be safe to say, subpar. At 60,000 miles, my water pump went out on it. It left me on the side of the road overheated. I had to get it towed back home. Actually, about 100 miles back home, I had to get it towed. I was heading to my camp. So I didn't think that was really a huge issue with it. It happens, it's a water pump. Now, at 60,000 miles, I would think that's kind of soon, but okay, we'll give them that. Now, when this Jeep turned 81,000 miles on it, my son was born. He needed it for school that day. his vehicle was broke down. Well, he called me in a panic because he was on the side of the interstate with a puddle of oil under my Jeep. So I got it towed to the Dodge dealership over here, and come to find out, it put a rod through the block. So at 80,000 miles, this Jeep's engine disintegrated on me, which wouldn't be a big issue because Dodge has or Fiat Chrysler has a 100,000 mile powertrain warranty. So I thought I was good. I was at 80,000 miles. I said, man, this will be fine. This will work out just great. Well, Dodge wouldn't honor the warranty. Dodge said that the vehicle had ingested water, and that's what blew the engine. And I argued back and forth with him that, hey, it was on the interstate. It didn't ingest any water. It was a dry, sunny day on the interstate when it blew out. But Dodge said nope, and they didn't honor the warranty, so I was stuck buying a new motor for it. So I'd say, let's say I had one other thing go out. I had a wheel speed sensor go out on it, which causes your cruise control and your ABS to not work. So that's really the three main issues I've had with my Jeep. And I'd say those are pretty big issues. And like I said, this Jeep doesn't have 100,000 miles yet on it, and it's got a brand new motor in it. So that was really disappointing in it. But to say all that, I really like my Jeep. I sound like I'm being down on Jeep. I really do like it. It's a good looking vehicle. I get compliments on it all the time. And this Jeep is no pavement princess. This Jeep has been through the woods. It's scratched up. It's got its war wounds on it, war scars. But it's a Jeep, man. It's tough. It looks good when it's dirty. It looks good when it's filthy muddy. It still looks good, and I get complimented on it all the time. And I don't want you to think that I'm bad mouthing them too bad either. I enjoy driving. It's fun to drive. I drive a manual, and I enjoy that. It's just a good time to drive, you know. But I will tell you, it's not very practical with this soft top. When it's hot outside, it's hot. It's hard to keep cool. It leaks. You know, you can't have a soft top Jeep Wrangler if you ever really want to drive it in the rain to stay dry. It leaks from both doors. I've tried putting weather stripping and stuff, and it lasts for a little while, but it doesn't last forever. Let's see what else. It's loud, of course. It's loud. It's a Jeep. Now, this soft top I have on it now is not the factory top. It's the best top, Trek top, I believe it's called. It's the frameless one, and it pops when it's hot. It pops and vibrates and shakes, and it makes a lot of noise. I'm very disappointed with that. But it is what it is. It's not the factory top. Can't blame the factory on that one. But that's my thoughts, guys. Like I said, I don't want to sound as I'm coming off that I hate my Jeep. I don't. I love my Jeep Wrangler. It's really good fun. It's great fun on the weekends. But if I were to do it over again, as a daily driver, mind you, I would have a 4-door Jeep Wrangler with a hardtop. That would be the way I'd go as my primary vehicle. With that being said, they have said now they're coming out with the Scrambler, the Jeep truck. And I do believe that when they do come out, I think it's going to be in 2019, that I will have had enough of daily driving this fella, and I will be purchasing a Jeep Scrambler. So I'm not out on Jeep products just yet. I'm not out on Dodge. My wife drives a Durango. It's got almost 200,000 miles on it. It's been an excellent vehicle to her. But there's some things you need to know about before you get in a Jeep. They're not very practical. They're loud. They don't drive very good. The reliability is not really there on them. But it's hard to beat driving around in a Jeep, I'll tell you that. And guys, that's Corey's take on a 2012 2-door Jeep Wrangler.